Hey guys, welcome to On the Couch with KWI. Today I'm joined by Staff Sergeant Randy Stovall. Randy, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so a different kind of an interview. Typically we have a lot of folks who are welders or used to be welders and different things like that, but we really appreciate you coming on and first of all, thank you for your service to our country.
Absolutely.
So thinking of that service, how does your current career relate to welding, or how did you get involved with welding?
Yeah, so I would have never pictured myself as a welder. I had no idea even anything that it entailed. So if you would have told me 7 years ago before I joined that I'd be a welder, I probably wouldn't have believed you.
Okay.
So I've been in for 7 years. I joined in 2015, so we're coming up on my eight-year anniversary here. But I joined and it was one of the jobs available and I thought it sounded interesting and different, and that's kind of the benefit of joining the National Guard. You just do something different and interesting, and that's that.
Okay. So you hadn't welded before you joined the National Guard, but you thought it looked cool and fun. A lot of people come to KWI because they think it looks cool or it looks fun. Tell me about their training. Was it all at once, or did it take 10 months, or tell me about that?
Yeah, so at the time it was pretty accelerated, the AIT, which is Advanced Individualized Training. But if we go back before that, it was a 10-week basic training course that I went through in order to earn the title of soldier. And from there, they shipped me to my AIT location, which was in Fort Lee, Virginia. So I learned to weld there. The MOS itself is called 91 Echo, which is an allied trade specialist. There we learned how to do machining, so lathe operations, milling operations, reading blueprints, stuff like that, and that kind of propels you into doing CNC type of functions. And then the second phase of that training was going to be welding. So we started with oxyacetylene welding. We did cutting functions with that. We did some brazing to kind of ease us into more so what welding is going to be. And then from there we went to STIG, MIG, TIG, all the operations that you would think of.
So not often do we have someone who's done any oxy-fuel welding. Mm-hmm. If you rewind a lot of the old school type of training, they would teach oxy-fuel as a precursor to TIG, because it kind of helped out a little bit with that,
it definitely,
that hand-eye coordination.
Absolutely. It definitely helped us out when we got finally to TIG. That was probably the most challenging one that we all went through. But the course itself wasn't super long. It was about 5 months. So when you split that between machining and welding, it was pretty accelerated. It was really quick, really fast-paced.
So what's your favorite type of weld?
TIG for sure.
Okay. Yeah. So you freehand walk the cup?
Walk the cup. That's kind of what they taught us to do. We got all of our settings right where they were perfect for us, and kind of, welding is a little bit individualistic. So we walked the cup and did whatever worked best for us.
Now, how do you transition the training that you received, that specialized training from machining, CNC, fabrication, welding? What does that job or that training allow you to do specifically for the military?
So it essentially allows me to do just that. So when in a real world situation, when you're at your unit side, so once you come back from training and you're serving part-time, that 1 week in a month and 2 weeks in the summer, you're going to be doing what you went to AIT for. So that's your job. Some people are mechanics. I was a welder. It just so happened that the mechanics would break a lot of things. So I would have to stick everything back together. So it comes down to, maybe if we don't have a tool that reaches a space that is applicable, so we'll create a tool. Essentially just problem solving is what we did.
All right. So moving forward, now tell us a little bit about your current position.
So right now I recruit for the National Guard. I've been doing this about 2 years. It's one of the most rewarding and challenging jobs I think I've ever had. But
so if someone is interested, or if you're going to go into recruit, what are some things that you tell them about the benefits of the military and the National Guard, and how can those benefits help that person during and after their service?
Right, so because the National Guard is part-time service, so you're serving 1 week in a month, it pairs perfectly with having a full-time civilian job. So whether that be welding and that takes you all over the country, or if it just keeps you right here at home, you can still serve locally as your schedule allows. So if you want to be a welder full-time or you want to do something else full-time, that still allows you that flexibility to join the National Guard, serve your country, earn the title of soldier, and just have that service to country, service to community that we all crave.
So there's schools like Kentucky Welding Institute that are military friendly, so we can accept GI Bill and post 9/11 Montgomery.
Right.
So can you expand on those? How does the person earn that money, or how can they utilize those funds?
Right. So while you're in the military, you can use your GI Bill to help you offset the cost of education. You can use the credentialing assistance that we have through the Army Cool program, and then we also have another program that is kind of specialized for institutions like this, which is called Helmets to Hard Hats.
Okay.
So it was designed by unions in order to gain qualified, competent workers. And when you've gone through a military school, such as 91 Echo Welding, and then you're attempting to come out on the civilian side and do something along the same lines, it's going to allow you a benefit of getting that veteran preference when you start applying for competitive positions, or you're looking to join a union or something like that. So we definitely try to take care of our own and make sure that when you're coming out of a situation, you're walking into something better.
Right. It's one thing that I can say about former military students that have come into Kentucky Welding Institute, because there's always a sense of yes sir, no sir, a sense of to get it done the way it should be done, and a sense of pride and good work ethic in a former military student.
Yeah, more often than not, you'll find self-starters who have gone through military training, and when they're here, this is what they want to do, so they make sure that they're doing it well.
Right. And as you know, KWI does accept those. Nearly all the tuition could be paid for depending on the type of the program, or some maybe pay it forward and then you get reimbursed on the back side. So how would someone contact you or some of your coworkers to set up a conversation or a meeting about the Army National Guard?
Right, so you can contact your local National Guard recruiter, or you can call me directly at 502-871-2651. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all of it. So.
Okay. Well, Randy, we sure appreciate you coming in and spending your time with us. And if you're interested in service to your country and you want the National Guard to help out, look those guys up. You've been watching KWI on the Couch. Thanks for tuning in.